I pictured the NBA way different than what it really is. I signed this $1 million contract, and so I shouldn't have to work as hard anymore.
That center, a 7'2", 295 senior, Luther Wright.
It was over 20 years ago that Luther Wright led Elizabeth High to the New Jersey State Championship. Standing at 7 feet 2 inches tall, Luther, or Lou B as he's called, was the hometown hero who was on the fast track towards the NBA. After 3 years with Seton Hall, he was picked up by the Utah Jazz in the first round of the 1993 NBA draft. He signed a $5 million contract. But before the ink could dry, Luther was cut from the team his rookie season and never played in the NBA again.
I kick myself in the butt every day, just thinking about what could have been.
So what happened? Well, I met up with Luther in his hometown of Jersey City to hear his story.
Just bear with me a little bit because it's tough. Just being molested, you know, sexually abused, violated.
It's been over 30 years, but the memories of being raped and molested at 6 years old still haunt this 7'2" giant of a man.
I could put the hurt and the pain and the worries in that box and lock it away, and then just run that farther away from it with the basketball. You know, and that's what I did. I used basketball to kind of to take the focus off of that in my mind.
In this neighborhood, basketball was more than a sport. It was a way of life. But for Luther, basketball was just an escape.
You know, it took me that much further from that hurt. College letters started coming in the 8th grade. And that started adding to this superstar athlete that I became in a year or two.
Luther wasn't just known for his skills on the court. He made a name for himself in the nightclubs as well. The first time he got loaded, he was in high school. By college, he'd found his niche. I
didn't go into it thinking I'm gonna become a cokehead. I didn't go into it thinking I'm gonna be addicted to crack or I'm gonna have a problem with marijuana or drinking. I was doing it at my leisure. And when I looked up, it had got the best of me.
By the time Luther reached the pinnacle of his career, making it to the NBA, the bottom dropped out. Between the missed practices, suicide attempts, and manic episodes, the Jazz had had enough. Luther was cut from the team. The fallen hero returned to his hometown a disappointment and a full-blown addict. Soon he was broke and living on the streets of Newark.
If I can get in any of these buildings, I'll be in here sleep. You'll find me here sleeping. I wanted to escape all of this. I wanted out. I just didn't know how to get out.
Luther was high and homeless for almost 10 years. He checked in and out of mental institutions and rehab facilities. Nothing helped until...
I was in this alley right here, and I fell asleep one night in this abandoned car. And I woke up, my toes was just frozen. And all I could do was limp down this hill. And they go to the hospital right here.
When he arrived at the hospital, doctors had to take drastic measures.
I could hear the saw, the drill, whatever they was using to amputate my toes. That's what I heard. And then I heard my toes hit the pan on the operating table, ping, ping. And like that'll be with me forever.
Doctors amputated 2 of Luther's toes, not just to save his foot, but to save his life. Sitting alone in the hospital bed, Luther cried out to God.
I prayed, Lord, I really want to stop using. I really want to get clean. This time I was sincere, and God knew that I was sincere.
That day, Luther gave his heart and his life to Jesus Christ.
I knew that there was a God, but, you know, I was so far into my mess that I didn't think I was worthy for God to even come in, because I was so dirty, filthy. Like on the inside, I wasn't clean. I didn't believe that God was going to save a sinner like me, but He did, because I let Him in. I let Him have His way with me.
Today, Luther is 7 years clean from drugs and alcohol. He says God not only gave him freedom from his addictions and the hurt, but also the power to forgive his molesters and those who raped him.
It's like a sense of relief, like, you know, because I was carrying around a lot of baggage for years.
Today, Luther stands on the sidelines as an assistant basketball coach for the Jersey Express. When he's not coaching, he's a mentor to kids all around the city, sharing his story.
What's the moral of my story? Life is about choices. You know, some of the choices you make can make or break you, kid. God knows our hearts. Once we put our faith, our trust, our hopes, our dreams, and everything into Him, He will make a way for it. He will manifest Himself into any and everything we set our mind to.